If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast without any minimum amount of listeners. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download your free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, my name is Corinne, and I'm hosting a call tonight for the Real Girlfriends Across America. We are a company that has a foundation and a mission to build lifelong friendships with women across the globe. We will be bringing you hot new topics each and every night, and we're always looking for new topics. So we look forward to any submissions that you may have. Please follow us on Facebook at Real Girlfriends Across America and visit our website at www.realgirlfriends.org. Now, tonight I have a host of my other girlfriends on the line with me, including Tawanda, and we're going to discuss predicting the trends. And let's actually go through to see who's on the line with me tonight. So I have Kay. Is Kay on the line with me?
Yes, I am. Hello, ladies.
Hello, Kay. How are you today?
I am doing fine. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. And how are you, Tawanda?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. So, both of you know that we're currently living in a time that couldn't be predicted by anyone. So in the past, we were able to predict things like the next fashion trend, people's fortune, as well as the stock market. However, now because of the changes, we have a whole nother reality. So let's talk about today's topic, which is predicting the trends. Now, Kay, do you think that you are hip onto the trends now?
I don't know about what about the trends. I'm not a particularly trendy person, but I can see the what is possibly going to happen with the next year or so. At least when it comes to the economy, I believe there might be a serious downturn, if that's what you mean.
Okay, and the trend can include, let's say, financial. It can include, like you said, the economy. It can include fashion. Let's say business trends. So there's all types of different trends. So you said that you're good at predicting the economy trends?
I'm not necessarily good at predicting economy trends. I just have a really good idea of where this trend will go based on the things that I have read on the internet, the news, what we see with COVID-19. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to think that, okay, things aren't going to be good.
Right. Now, how do you think that the trend is, in terms of what you have been following, what do you think that's going to be the most, actually the trend that you want to look out for the most?
I would be looking at serious job loss. I think a lot of people will lose their homes, will lose their place of stability. I think that a lot of businesses a lot more businesses that have already gone out of business will go out of business. And I think that the economy is just going to suffer probably much worse than it did after the 2008 crash.
And yeah, I definitely agree that there's definitely going to be a change. I don't know in terms of how big of like effect it's going to be on the economy, but I know it's going to be definitely a big change. And thank you for that insight. And Tawanda, I'm going to ask you the same question. So do you think that you're good at predicting the trends, and if so, which trends?
Absolutely not. That is definitely not my strong suit. When I think about the different things and trends that's happened like over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't think I've seen that much coming. Like, oh, I didn't know about that. So no, that's definitely not my strong suit.
Okay. Now, is there any trends that you follow, like let's say the stock market or real estate or anything like that?
Not consistently. There are a few things when it comes to stock market, when it comes to real estate and things like that, that I may browse because it comes on my phone as far as news or because I'm interested in different things with real estate, but consistently owning it on a regular basis, looking and knowing when it's up and down, no, not at this time.
Okay. And now, was there ever or presently or currently, is there a present or a past trend that you would never invest in?
I think I said to you guys one time before, when I first started working with a financial advisor, he gave me this assessment to determine my risk level and the different types of investments that were good. And he said, hey, you're not a risk taker, not when my money is involved. So he gave me basically a plan of what I actually needed to do and work on. So honestly, I'm just not really sure. Like, I was getting into like Bitcoins and stuff like that one time before, but it kind of like went over my head. So the biggest thing I would probably say of interest that I would invest in right now would probably be real estate because it's something that I know that I can kind of do pretty much. But as far as different financials, like stocks and stuff like that, or Bitcoin, I don't really know enough about it. So probably not. And I also remember one thing I was following about 2 years ago was there was different stocks I was looking into, and Etsy had shot up really, really big, and I had always heard about that. So I was actually kind of surprised to know it was actually leading. It was a good stock to invest in, and someone did advise me to do that, but I actually didn't, and they did, and they actually made a pretty good chunk of money.
Yeah, Etsy definitely was trending. I know Amazon tried to make something that was similar to it, but it is not as popular as Etsy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't really been on. I've seen it, and like I clicked on it and I looked at it, and I'm like, okay, I'm not really too interested in it too much, so I didn't really like browse through it, like seriously. But I think that they just wanted to jump on that trend because Etsy had did so well. And Kay, let me ask you the same thing. Is there a present or a past trend that you would never invest in?
Well, there's let's see, that I would never invest in. I can't think of anything right now because I wasn't investing for a very short period of time, and I lost a lot of money in the first, I would say 6 months to a year while I was learning how to invest. I mean, when I first started, I really sucked. I really sucked at it because I'm an extremely emotional person. So anytime the stock would go down, I'd be like, oh no, and I would sell. And then of course I would lose money because then when it would go up, I would buy again. And so that was in the first, I would say 6 months to a year. I just lost a ridiculous amount of money until I learned how to invest. So I wouldn't be able to say what I would not invest in because I've invested in some pretty bad things. Like there was one stock that I invested in called AI, and from the day that I invested in it till the day that I finally withdrew my money from them, I lost so much money because they never had an upturn. They went downhill from the very day I invested in them, and I kept hoping like they're going to go up, they're going to go up. They never went up. I lost a lot of money. Yeah.
Was it? Did you pay attention to, I guess, if they were trending up or down during that time, like on various platforms, or did you just, like, since you already had your money invested, you just decided to ride out with it?
Well, what happened was I invested through this platform called TIAA, and at first, when I was first learning how to invest, I would look every day. I would check the stocks every day. Like, it was my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner was the stocks, right? And that turned out to be the worst possible activity that I could do, because you start to get anxious when you see the stocks go up and down. You get anxious, and you can make really stupid decisions, because investing in stocks is supposed to be like a long-term thing, right? It's not supposed to be short-term. So the worst thing you can do when you're investing in stocks is to pay attention to what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, I did do that for a while until finally when I finally learned how to invest, and I invested in stocks that had dividends because they were safer and they were earning me money. I invested in Apple. I made a lot of money off of them. I would say like every quarter I was getting about $300 back. And, yeah, so, and then finally I withdrew all my cash and got out of stocks, and haven't really regretted it. It was getting out of stocks was probably the best thing I did for myself, honestly.
Okay. And so let me ask you this question. If there was something that maybe you wanted to be known to, so let's say, like, if you wanted to make something trend, so you wanted to be known, particular item trend, what would be that item?
My book. That's it. That's what I would want to make trend, my book. I don't really, like, I've tried so many different things, right? I've tried selling clothing.
Oh,
go ahead.
So let's say, I apologize. So let's say, like, on like a different type of level. So let's say, like, Google is trending because it's like this big, website and company. So if there's something like maybe you can reinvent the industry that you will want to make that particular item trend.
Oh, you mean like if I could, like if I thought like, oh, I could do that better than them, kind of thing?
Yeah, it could be like that.
Let me think. Maybe cell phones, and the reason why is because they make them so stupid expensive that if somebody came out with a really, really decent cell phone, like, but actually had it at a reasonable price, people would buy it.
Okay. So you would want to be involved with the technology, or you want to with the actual phone itself?
I don't know how to program phones. I'm not like a techie wizard or anything. I would want to have like my own.
Hypothetically, if you could be involved with making something trend, what would it be?
Oh yeah. So I would have I would create like a brand of cell phone or something.
Okay. And thank you. I apologize. So I was kind of confusing on how I was explaining it. So let me ask you, Tawana, let me do a better job explaining it to you. So if you could, let's say, reinvent, I guess it would be a better way of saying it, and make a particular, let's say, item, product, a platform, trend. So you're known for making this trend because maybe you reinvented it, maybe it's a dance, I don't know, maybe it's a food. What would you be wanting to know for making trends?
That is a good question. I would have to say it would be something in reference to shapewear, and another one that I would choose would be something in reference to like skincare.
And why those two?
Well, shapewear, because I think that we're in a time where everybody wants to look their best and become their greatest self and gain weight if they're too slim, lose some weight, and just kind of be better. So a lot of times I've seen, I can't remember what it's called, like the waistband and stuff people have. So just something different for people of all sizes in reference to shapewear and making it fun at the same time. So definitely interested in that because people want to get their sexy back. And skincare, because so many people have different types of skin, from oily to dry, some people with sensitive